I've always seen it as like one thing. I'm Cuban, I'm Mexican, I'm American, and like I'm proud of being all those things. I'm Jessica Hernandez from Detroit, Michigan, and my band is Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas. We just released our second album in 2 languages, telephone and telefono. I wanted to make the album in both languages for a million reasons. I think the first reason was honestly just for my family. My abuela on my dad's side. It was always really important for her that I kind of like keep the language going through each generation. She was really afraid of like, well, when the grandparents pass, like how much of our culture is going to be lost. So my father's from Havana, Cuba, and my mom is Mexican, but she was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan as well. My parents have a huge influence on my music. My Mexican grandma, you know, she grew up in Detroit, you know, in like the 60s and the 50s, and so she was really into Motown. So she was like influencing me with the Motown, then the Cuban grandma with the salsa and merengue, and then my dad, he was really into Iggy Pop and Alice Cooper and like all that kind of stuff. And then my mom is young, and so she was into like Joy Division and The Cure and The Clash, and so it was kind of, you have like all these crazy parts which I think play a huge part into like why my music is so all over the place. I didn't really take music seriously until I was probably 19. I mean, I've sang since I was really little, since I could remember I've been singing. When I went to college, I actually went and studied fashion design. After my first year, my friends and my family, everyone around me was like, you're crazy, like you should be doing music. My family has a Mexican restaurant and a Mexican bakery, and they're right next to each other. And it was a really cool upbringing because, you know, it's like after school, me and my brother would go straight to the bakery, hang out there, you know, help my dad make bread, bake cakes. Yeah, the release was above my family's panaderia. We just like invited all of our fans to come hang out. My abuela made croquetas and empanadas. We had like a bar set up. A friend of mine DJ'd, and we just were like spinning mixes of like Mexican music, Cuban music, hip hop. Being on the road, I didn't realize what a big impact of just keeping my name was, and just like having the name Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas. Like most of our fans are bilingual, and I've had, you know, these like really cute little punk kids come up to me. They're like 18, little mohawk, and they're like, hey, you know, you made me feel like it's okay to be Mexican. That's so crazy to me, to feel like you have to not be proud of what you are because you want to identify with American culture at the same time. You know, I've always seen it as like one thing, like I'm Cuban, I'm Mexican, I'm American, and like I'm proud of being all those things. It's just like motivating and inspiring when you like are on this bill with like not that many females and not that many Hispanics, and you can kind of like feel yourself growing and breaking through. It's like very empowering.